Hey, Barb. Hi.
This is the basic essential introduction to Immunix, a non-physical yoga of immunity, where people cure incurable diseases. These volunteers and others are going to give you in this movie the basic essential introduction. They cure things, these people. And some of the things that they cured have been medically incurable diseases. Graves' disease, lupus, oral herpes, genital herpes, fibromyalgia, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, the lethal kind. And yes, people get negative medical tests. Don't expect perfect explanations. Nobody can explain this to you. These are not presenters. They are people who've worked miracles. They kill viruses. They've stopped cancer. They've cured diabetes and MS. They've got negative medical tests on herpes and Epstein-Barr. And you commonly hear them saying, I never get the flu again. I haven't had a cold in 5 years. For me, 1993 was my last flu. That was when I cured my herpes. Same year. And these people are here to show you what you can do because they've done something great for themselves, something great that they know you're also able to do for yourself. And they want to see you do it. 4-year-old kids have done this. This is the cure drive. They're the cure team. Give them a hearing. Open yourself up to them. Let these people into your heart, because maybe at some point you're going to be one of them. So you should all learn. Now I want Al and Barb and Maribel to tell Darren why she needs the cure team.
I think it's very important for you to have the energy and the catalyst that other people can provide for you in your creating your cure. I think it's really important that you have that your son has people that he sees curing things, so he remembers that can happen. That you remember that it can happen, and that there's people who are just kind of like don't give up in your life. People that believe it can be done and that are doing it every day. And then you have fresh results to see.
And yeah, and people who do it themselves and know that it can be done.
In my breast, I had a nodule. It was gone.
So you made a nodule in your breast disappear?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, it's important to surround yourself with people that are curing and of higher dimensional people that are working on themselves, because it speeds your cure and it raises your dimension. You end up being part of a group immune system.
Well, Al, tell her what you've cured.
What I've cured?
Yeah.
Well, I used to weigh 385 pounds. I now weigh about 235. From that, I got congestive heart failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, and of course I've lost the weight. My blood pressure is, my last checks, as of last Friday, my blood pressure was normal, my blood sugar was normal.
You cured.
I had some mobility deficits, but
you cured diabetes, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I get normal blood tests, and my blood sugar every morning is within the normal range, my fasting blood sugar.
So basically you got a negative medical test on diabetes.
Yes, and on high blood pressure, which I've had since I was 16. They said my liver had failed.
Really?
And they were gonna put me on dialysis, and they said they were gonna give me a day or two to see if if it came back on its own. So I just immediately started working on it.
Right.
And then the following day they did a test and it was fine.
Wow. Oh, so you worked on it with Immunix?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Barb, what about you? What have you cured?
I'm mostly cured. I'm really good at curing viral-based diseases and cancers, I believe, but I kind of am pretty good at really my own cancer and the cancers of others. I've cured clinically Epstein-Barr, the chronic fatigue virus-related virus, herpes simplex, just a V1, no longer appears on my blood tests. I also...
You're exactly like me. Like, that's what happened to me. The first day that I took my herpes out, I had a herpes outbreak,
Right.
which then went away, and I never had another one.
Right.
And that's you. That's you too, I guess, basically, right?
Kind of. Because actually, I almost literally had one. I thought that I was watching it happen, and then I did Immunix, and it went away.
Right.
That was pretty amazing, actually. That was a really liberating feeling.
And you've been doing Immunix for about 3 weeks, right?
No, I started, it'll be 2 weeks this Wednesday.
And you were having continuous outbreaks.
Yeah, for about, since February 23rd, I guess.
And it's now May 2nd.
Yeah.
So you were having continuous outbreaks, and you immediately, like basically from the first day, cured your herpes, and but it's when we say, people don't understand what we mean by curing your herpes.
Right.
Because cure, it's like, how the Eskimos have like 52 words for snow?
Yes.
Well, like, we have only one word for 52 kinds of cure.
Absolutely.
Like, we just call everything cure. So when you get your negative medical test, that's a cure. And when you, like after your negative medical test, when you stop ever finding herpes in your bodies again, that's a cure, and so on. All these things are cures, and your cure right now is you've cured your symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
But you're only into it for 2 weeks. Since, see, my herpes, I only had outbreaks every 3 to 5 months. So, like, you have to picture this. Like, for me to know that I'd actually really accomplished anything, for me to really know that, I had to go 7 months without a herpes outbreak.
Right.
And then I could say, well, shit, I was supposed to have one. At least it had to come 2 months ago, and probably more like 4 months ago, and I haven't had one, so that means I've cured it. Except what I realized is that it's not cured until you stop finding it. In the sense that most people want to cure their herpes. Mm-hmm. See, most people think they want a negative medical test.
Right.
And then when they're doing this and they get a negative medical test, because a lot of us have gotten negative medical tests, but then you realize, well, if you still find the herpes, it's still there, and you'll end up with a positive medical test if you don't take it out. So you have to keep taking it out for years.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like I stopped finding it after almost 2 years.
Right.
So that's the deal, that's where you're going. But you're doing great.
Well, thank you. I saw in your video you said, you were talking about cancer patients, and you said, these people would make a deal to get 2 years as long as,
Yeah.
So, and that, that struck a chord.
Well, sure, because, herpes is completely incurable, and no one ever cures it other than this. This is the only cure for herpes, what you're doing.
Right. That's great. It's.
Yes, I also have a titanium in my spine too, during, I think you knew that, right? And I have 12 vertebrae fused with Harrington rods, it's called. So I have, only probably 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 vertebrae that move at all. The rest are...
Didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that happened when I was 17. And I wore a back brace for 4 years. Yeah. And that, I sort of managed the pain, and there was some situations related to that, for the most part, using this. But when I learned doing that, and that's actually how I started, was I was working on my back, and then I started learning that the place that I took myself to relieve the pain was the same place from which I could kill viruses and remove cancers and that kind of thing.
I'm filming this, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. And just so people know about you and Barb, Darren, you know, you guys go back a long way, and there was a time when Barb helped you beat back your cancer, yes?
Yeah.
Long
I
ago.
believe so.
Yeah. And that's what we want to do again, except now not just with one friend, but with a whole team of people.
Can I just share a strategy tip about talking about your cures?
Sure.
Like, don't be, like, just talk about them and be proud of them. You don't have to boast, but don't be reticent about it, because when you talk about your cures, you're actually reinforcing them. It's an immunic action.
Right.
It's like saying a prayer in a prayer meeting.
That's true.
So always talk positively and powerfully about your cures.
This is Darren, who is just at the beginning of curing breast and bone cancer. And what you're going to see now is how Darren feels after she removes a trauma, which may or may not have been connected in any way to her cancer. There is an entire movie where we show, many movies where we show trauma removal. One of them is with Darren. And whether it's connected to the cancer or not, it can be a cofactor in causing the cancer. And obviously taking it out produces a big change. So that's what's coming up right now, the post-trauma removal calm, clear place. Now bear in mind that what you're seeing here is part of another movie, and she has just taken out the trauma. So what you're seeing is what she looks like a second or two later. Watch and learn. Just now, is the trauma cleared?
Yes.
Okay, it probably just took a minute. Now you seem different. Are you different?
I feel kind of more present. And
Well, you look totally different.
I
Yes, you look like
Wow.
a lot flatter.
Huh.
Just a lot flatter than you were. Like nothing going on. You know, no happy, no sad, no upset, no fear, no nothing. Just like flat.
Yeah, that
Or in
sounds...
your body.
What, Al?
Or in her body. She looks more in her body.
Uh-huh.
Like she's not trying to jump out of her skin.
We call this a big bang. It's like, you know, you actually took something out that was, you know, like fundamental enough, so for a while there's just nothing there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like an absence of anything.
For the last few days, I saw a lot of retreating in Darren, like a lot of sort of giving up and feeling tired and in pain and scared and just sort of curling in. And then she, last night, came out with this whole new energetic of, I'm going to fight this cancer. Like, it was like a whole, I can't even describe what it was. The words weren't the thing. She just looked like a completely different person in that, okay, I'm going to take these practical steps and I'm going to do this. Like, rather than succumb to the overwhelm of the whole thing, she got really like, okay, and then I'm going to, you know, eat this and I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to have this conference call and I'm going to call my doctor, and like just taking those practical steps, her entire way she was holding herself physically completely changed.
Oh,
And I watched it happen
Nice.
just in the course of her just talking about this change, and I think she has maintained it also today. So it's like a whole
That's beautiful.
root of energy from a commitment to
Mhm.
do what you can, you know, even if it's cook a good meal for yourself or call your doctor with questions that are bothering, you know, just taking the steps is really
Right. Yes. Yes.
changed
Yes.
the way that I'm seeing her, even physically. So
You know, which actually brings me to a question I'd forgotten that I wanted to ask Darren, and this might be a good, you know, completion question, which is, Darren, can you see why you need a cure team now?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I realized that this morning. I thought, oh my God, I don't know how you guys sort of like popped into my life again, but I really need it. I just really, because otherwise I will. What's a cure team? These guys are a cure team. Oh, cure team. Cure team. Cure team. Can we get t-shirts? I want.
Yeah. But you were saying I didn't quite. There's something I didn't quite catch. Why you need a cure team?
Musketeer ears.
Musketeer ears.
That was before your time, I know.
No.
Why you need a cure team? You were saying.
Because by myself I'll curl up in a ball and give up.
Thank you.
And you know, hearing Francis and Greg and everybody and Al the other night just talking about what they've been through and how they feel fear, I suddenly don't feel like I'm the only person who's suffering this, and that people have had changes, and I need to know that.
You know what, Darren? I have people call me all the time who have herpes. Like they just got a diagnosis that they have herpes. They are scared to death. They're in terror. And they feel like they can't do it. And, you know, and the funny thing is they still don't know that they need a cure team. Like they really think they're supposed to cure that all by themselves. It's what most people in this world think. You're supposed to do it all by yourself. And you gotta have the right people around you to do anything.
Correctly.
And this girl is she's 4.5 years old.
She's 4.5 years old. She knows where all the organs are and the glands. She knows the names of all the people. She knows how to test other people, to test herself.
Wow.
And before eating something, she has to test it, because once she starts going to school, we will not be there to see what she's going to eat, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's very risky for her because she's very allergic. And then she has to...
So she has a lot of allergies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. She has to test everything that she's going to eat. I have been teaching her since some time ago.
And she's 4.5 and she's testing these things when you're not with her?
Yeah, she knows how to test everything.
Is simply saying what we've cured, because when people watch these things, they don't realize what this is or what we're about. So I'll give you an example. I've cured 2 kinds of herpes. I had HSV 1 and 2. I had both, lip and genital. I got it in '66 and I cured it in 1993. And so I've been herpes free for 18 years. Barb was supposed to be on here, and she got a negative medical test on herpes, but I guess I don't see her on Skype, so I guess we're not going to have her here today, but I'm giving her share for her. And also, I haven't had a flu since I cured my herpes. So I have not had a cold since 1993. So that's just a couple of things that I've cured. And I'd like to go around and have you share in a really simple way what you've cured since you've been doing Immunix, what you've cured with Immunix. And I'd like to start with Rosella. You've been doing it for about 3 years, right?
Yeah, maybe a bit more.
Okay, and so what have you cured since you started with Immunix?
I cured the flu. I usually feel it coming now.
Right.
And as I teach to people, being in touch with students, it happens to me to have a lot of people in a room with me with the flu.
Right.
And I can feel something, and I start removing immediately. And all the past year, all my students have been down with the flu, and I haven't, not even once.
That's a great accomplishment, because then they don't lose their teacher for 3 days while they're out with the flu, see?
And they don't have a sick teacher. passing the flu and them, which is even better.
Passing the flu to them. That's right. That's
Yes.
then they don't want to come to class.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
And then I have cured anxiety attacks. And every time I started to get anxious, I stopped in the middle of what I was doing and I removed anxiety from all of my bodies. And I still do that.
Okay.
And I cured, I think it was an infection in one tooth because my gums started swelling and it hurt a lot. And I took pills, and I removed the pain, the infection and everything, and nothing happened. And then one day, I went to school. It was really difficult for me to speak because of the pain in my tooth. And anyway, I had my lesson, and out of the blue, at the end of the lesson, I started talking about immunics to my students. And I asked them to try testing. And they did. They were quite interested.
Oh, great.
While I was on my way home, I realized that the toothache was completely gone.
Oh, interesting.
And I tested if I had done an immunic action, talking about immunics to my students, and I got yes.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as
so
you
you're
know,
saying what you're saying is you're saying that telling other people about immunics is curative.
Yes.
Like you tell them and you cure something.
Yes, and let me tell you that it happened more than a time. I have this student, Grace. She comes once a week. And I told her about immunics, and she uses it for everything, absolutely everything. And sometimes she comes to lesson, and she's not feeling very well, she's worried, or she's feeling down. So at the end of the lesson, while I'm having a break, we do immunics together, we connect, and I try to channel what to ask her to do. And when we finish, she's feeling better and I'm feeling great.
Sally in California, I helped her when she was rejecting her transplanted liver so she didn't have to have another operation and she could actually live with her liver, and that was in 1993, 1994, so it's been a long time, and she's healthy.
And also, let's see your
sciatica.
Shirt. Let's see your shirt. Okay.
I actually have my T-shirt. Can you see that? I don't have my camera on here.
Okay. No, we see it. I got it.
Okay.
We got it.
And I cured a flu. I had outright raging flu, and I stopped it like that. It took focus for about like 5 minutes, and then it was gone. And then the rest of the day, I said, "Okay, is it still out? Still out?" It was gone. But it would have had me for a week or two.
All right. I'm sure there's more, but that's good enough for you for now. Now let's go to Franny. What have you?
I've been doing since 1993, and I haven't really had any flu or cold since then.
Angela, tell us what you have cured since you started. How long? It's been about 2 months, right?
Yeah, I just barely started, and I haven't really had a lot of stuff. I don't really have anything major.
Yeah.
But I have cured some pain in my knee. In fact, while I was riding my bike, it was coming back, and I would actually work on it on my bike, and it would go away.
Oh,
but
good.
for me, it's been more just, I can just tell I'm a different person.
Okay. So we get the idea that we've cured things. Now, I want to ask a question and put this out. Let's throw this question out to everybody. Does curing things require a large investment of your time? Anybody who wants to answer can go. Does this require a large investment of my time, of your time, to do?
For me, it hasn't, because I do what we call constant immunics, it doesn't seem like a lot of time to me, because anytime I think of clearing something, I just do it. So, maybe if I sat and added up all the seconds and minutes and hours that I've worked on myself, it's a lot of time. But to me, I can do it while I'm cooking, while I'm walking, while I'm doing other things. So it doesn't really take a lot of time to me.
Maribel, what would you say about it? Does it take a lot of your time?
Oh, it takes a little bit of my time, but it's not like, the whole day in that.
Okay.
But you test so fast, and you have the answers so fast that it takes short time.
Okay. Angela, what would you say to that? Does it seem like it takes a lot of your time to cure things or just to do immunics?
No, I'm kind of like Al. When it comes to me, I'll think about it, but I don't think of it in terms of time. I know that if I haven't been sick since I started doing immunics, but it sure took a lot more time to be sick than it did.
That's what it is for me. It's time well spent because it's time I was wasting otherwise. And so now, no, it takes no time. I'm calmer and more with it right away.
Okay. Bono, what about Franny? What about you?
Well, I'd say it takes a lot of time and thought if you have a really serious illness, but I do it all the time, so I don't really know how long it takes. Because as soon as I feel something, like if I felt a flu coming on, I would just start removing it that minute. So then it's probably pretty quick. I think it takes a long time once you let it get into a full-blown illness. It requires more work.
There's something I should share with Darren. Years ago, Darren, I found cancer in my spiral body. It was after I was at the movies and I was taking a walk, under this beautiful night sky in the summer in Philadelphia, and I tested, do I have cancer in my spiral body? And I got yes. I had never asked the question before. Never was I diagnosed medically with cancer. It just, there it was, and I never thought to ask about it. And I got really scared. That was my initial reaction, I was really scared for a few minutes. And then I removed it. And, I decided to test for it the next day and see if it was back. And I tested for it the next day and it was back. So I got really scared. And I was thinking, oh no, this is like, this thing is coming back. It's a condition. But, I removed it. I haven't tested positive for cancer in my spiral body in years and years. But I just wanted to share that with you. That I certainly didn't. I was going to ask you, does it take a lot of time for you each day, given that you're battling cancer, to do immunics?
That makes me want to cry. It's taking pretty much all my time.
Right.
Because I realized, I don't know, about a week ago that I'm in this, well, now you guys are helping me, but it felt like it's up to me, I'm in this alone in a way. Like I'm the only person who's really gonna cure me.
Yeah, that's right. See, even though we're here with you, it's still you, right?
Right.
So how's that feel, good or bad?
Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. It's huge for me, and I have friends now who know what I'm doing, and they're all so encouraging. And like you met Vicky the other night.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they all want you to cure it. Yeah, and Angela lives in Santa Fe.
Yes, that's good.
So now you met another person who lives in Santa Fe, dear.
So it's full time. I mean, at night, all day long. I mean, I'm either on the computer doing stuff. I mean, I realized I could start getting out and using it while I'm out too, but it's a lot for me right now.
What about, since you have a decent amount of experience, Rosella, has Immunix ever taken a lot of your time? Like when you first started doing it, or at all, ever? Has it ever taken a lot of your time?
Not in the beginning, even because I use all the spare time, like for example when I'm driving to work, and it's a half an hour drive, and when I get back home, and when I'm taking a walk, when I wake up in the morning, or if I watch TV, when there is a commercial, I spend that time to connect and do some Immunix. Right now, it's taking a lot of my time because I'm curing emphysema. So I'm working a lot. And I'm also working on my cigarette addictions, cigarette craving. And so at the moment, I'm spending a lot of time doing it.
Okay. So it's taking more of your time now because you're really trying hard to cure something.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And you're willing to do whatever it takes, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And you know, like Renee, you've actually come a really long way with curing MS, and you have a lethal kind of MS, so you have a very serious medical condition, and I'd just like to know, like, you know, how you're doing with that and what it's been like for you.
I'm doing really well. Still working on my legs, but my energy is great. I still walk with a cane, but I'm walking 1.5 miles. And I have all my neighbors watching me and cheering me on, which is cool.
So this is different from not being able to walk at all, which is, I guess, what was going on before. Is that? Like,
well, I was able to walk, but not very long distances, and my balance was much worse. I tripped and fell and just had a hard time making step after step after step without having some issue with balance. And now I can keep putting one foot in front of the other, and if something happens where maybe I'll trip, I can catch myself, no problem. It doesn't feel like, oh no, I'm gonna fall. I actually have good reflex, and my balance is much better.
Okay, so you're, and that's because you've regained something. And what is that you've regained?
My muscle, definitely. My muscles, and I believe whatever works as far as balance goes in my head, I think that neural network that works with my legs, that's improving.
Okay. And I also want to reassure our viewers that your face is not this red in real life.
No, it's your camera.
There's something red. Can you tell when your scarring is healing and when you're not getting any further? Can you tell, like, when you're actually curing it? And if so, how do you know? How do you know you're getting better instead of worse?
Well, I know that I'm getting better instead of worse because my symptoms are going away. Like I said, I don't have as much fatigue. I really don't get fatigue anymore unless I've had a long, hard day at work and then boom, I'm out.
Right.
But,
so it's a disappearance of the symptoms.
It's not unexplainable fatigue that just pops up, and I don't know where that came from.
Right.
I'm also able, like I said, I'm able to walk further than I've been able to walk in a long time. A few years, I would say. I don't remember walking this far since maybe 2002, 2003. I have better balance. I believe that my feeling in my fingers and toes are a little bit better too. So the numbness is going away, which it's not supposed to.
Oh, so it's not supposed to. So you can tell you're curing it because its symptoms are clearing up that are not supposed to clear up.
Right. I'm not supposed to get better at all. I'm not supposed to improve. I'm only supposed to get worse, according to medical doctors.
And the other people who started with the same doctor as you are dead, as you were telling me.
2 people. One started with symptoms at the same time I did. She's dead, and another one, she started symptoms a little bit before I got diagnosed, and I didn't get diagnosed until 7 years after my symptoms started.
I see.
Yeah, and she's dead.
And she's dead.
Wow.
Okay. So you have a lethal disease, and you're curing it. That's the bottom line. Is you're fighting and winning. Yes,
this disease is not going to kill me. I refuse.
Well, I'll tell you what. I want to. So, where do signals come from? I'm just asking everybody that. So, anybody who wants to answer, there's 3 of you here. Where do signals come from?
It's ineffable.
It's ineffable.
Sounds like cats, doesn't it?
It sounds like cats.
T.S. Eliot. Well, that's why I say God. I rarely talk about God, but it just comes from behind it all and inside it all. There's no place. I'm at a loss of words, and that's something for me.
Barb, where would you say, or Renee, where would you say signals come from?
My highest intention. My highest intention. I don't know where.
Renee, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, I would say from God, my spirit guides, angels, whoever's supporting me in this life.
Great. Well, it seems to me like with what you're accomplishing, you must have some pretty good support.
I think so, for sure.
Barb, show what your signal looks like.
Usually like this.
Renee, show your signal. What does it look like?
I'll see if I can get it. It's either one of my fingers coming in or it's pinky going up.
Okay, Greg, what does yours look like?
I was saying, to make it really graphic, I can direct it towards my hand, and it's just like this finger just kind of goes like this. But it's more a total sensation inside that opens up, that comes alive, that's a yes. And so it's all of me. It's not my finger as opposed to the rest of me.
Right. Okay. That's good.
Well, in that sense, my signal really is my heart opening up or not, but
yeah.
Well, I want to ask you, like you all have, seen new people starting doing this. How long after you found this website, this approach, did it take for you to join the web college? Like, how long did you know about Immunix before you became a member of the web college?
That's a good question.
Can you remember?
It was in 2010, I think January, when I discovered, January or February, I discovered it, and then I joined in June.
So about 6 months.
So about 6 months, because I was kind of running around trying to find a job at that time, and I wasn't ready.
Did you do anything with Immunix before you joined the web college? Like watch movies? How did you stay in touch with it?
I did watch some movies, and I did try to imitate some of the people in the movies.
Okay, did that work?
So I was doing something. Well, I didn't get sick.
So it worked to some extent, even though you didn't join the college, you started getting results, right?
Right.
That's good. So well, you know, there's like thousands of lessons in the web college, hundreds of hours of audios. How much of those have you actually used personally?
Oh boy. There's so many. I would say not even a quarter, because there's so much out there.
Right. And how did you choose what to use? How did you
I actually looked at the titles and whatever spoke to me, so that was kind of like a signal, something that jumped out at me, and then I'd go, oh, I have to see what that's about, and then I would go into that subject, and then I would look through it and just start doing stuff.
How did you find in all of these hundreds of audios, like, how did you find the ones you needed to listen to?
Like I said, whatever spoke to me. The first few things I was interested in, of course, was specific to the disease that applied to me. And I listened to some of those audios. And then I said, okay, I should be working on skill 1 somewhere. And so I started with the basics and skill 1 and kind of skipped around after a while, because it was like, okay, I need to do something different. And then I just, whatever spoke to me. Trauma was a big one that spoke to me. And I don't remember how many traumas I had to get rid of, but quite a few.
Well, test this right now and hold your hand up so we can see your test. And just,
I don't know if it'll come out, but okay.
That's okay if it doesn't, but let's just see. Did removing traumas help me cure MS?
Removing traumas help me cure MS. I don't know if you can see that.
So that's your signal?
That's my signal.
Okay.
Yes.
So removing trauma, it can free you up so that you can cure the disease, to take out these emotional components.
Mm-hmm. And trauma is even an allopathic theory too. They say that you go through trauma before the disease starts to manifest itself in your physical body.
Right.
Well, I'm willing and to be surprised by something I did not think of or have no comprehension of yet.
Yeah.
And that's the fun of life too. I've really learned to look at that and take the opportunity that exists. And it's kind of really works in life. I just look at everything, and it may all seem sort of Monday. I'm just going about my day. Then there's one little thing that snaps, so I'm always finding the interesting thing or the new thing.
Well, Barb's nodding. What about you, Renee? Do you often get surprised? What, Barb?
I like that. It's a great thing to get surprised.
Oh yeah, I find surprises all the time.
Thank you guys.
So this continues to surprise you, like how you cure these things.
Yes, because the way I look at it is, I don't know everything about myself, and it's going to take my whole life to figure out even part of myself.
Right.
And so if I'm not surprised continuously, then I'm not doing enough. I sneeze at one point, and I'll go, wait a minute, that sneeze wasn't from like pepper. What is that? Is that a virus trying to get me?
Where you found the cause of your MS was what was it, a microbe? Prions. And do you kill those throughout the day? Do you keep finding them, or how's that going?
They haven't come around for quite a few weeks now.
Okay, so you've been pretty free of them for weeks, and your walking is getting better.
Right.
Okay, good.
That's getting better, and I can feel that the communication between my brain and my legs needs some improvement. The right leg seems to be okay, but the left leg still doesn't quite get the messages that I'm trying to send it.
Well, do you feel like you have to force yourself? Like, Barb, what do you say about that? Like, do you have to force yourself? I'd like to hear from everybody. Like, does it feel a lot of times like you really have to force yourself to cure things?
I do. When my stuff comes up, I force myself when I'm in the middle of it, and to just know that it's curable and not to leave it, like just keep pushing through till I find the clear place, or the well place. It's been getting easier and easier because now I believe it. I've done it long enough, so I know it's going to come around again. I think that just jump right in anywhere. Don't worry about, like, it looks like there's a lot of protocol and form, but really it's pretty free. It's pretty freestyle. And it's pretty unique to each individual. You get to kind of design your own program. Follow a basic thing, but there's a lot of support here. But really, it's you get to tailor make your own program.
Okay, well. We kind of went hand in hand with what I was saying before, that you treat this like your own because it really comes from you. It really is your own, and regardless of what people say, it's not going to just be what you think. You have to find what it is for you, and you rediscover this ability that you have, or uncover it, or discover it for the first time.
I think you have to remember that any of you, like Renee's a good example, can be way more successful at this than some of us, the so-called old guard or the original people. You shouldn't be shy to, overtake any of us. I think there's a lot of people out there that are already doing some form of this, or doing, know what this is, and are hanging back for some reason. But there's a lot of room for accomplished people and leaders and stuff. So maybe some of us, maybe me included, we're sort of somehow pushing away people like that. I'm certainly ready to retire my spot.
That's a very beautiful.
Steal this book and replace me.
Steal this book. That's a very beautiful sentiment, Barb. Steal this book. Thank you.
Steal this spot. You can have my little spot on YouTube. One position open.
Have you been wondering how you will proceed with your cure after this movie ends? I would be if I were you. Because if you are, it means you're probably going to cure the thing you came here to cure. And I'm going to create a section right here next. It's going to be the next section, where I show you how to proceed. This is not the end of the movie. These are simply things that I want you to bear in mind as you're watching the rest of the movie. Because I think the things that I go into next with the people I talk to require you to have a sense of how they've proceeded and continue to proceed, and therefore how you need to know how to proceed so that you know how to apply what you're watching them talk about. And this is the home page of curedrive.org. This is where you start. Which brings me to, when you do start, you're supposed to report your cures, and there's the box to do it, right at the top. Also, there's some links up there. These are very important links. I'm not going to get into what they are, though. What I'm going to do is tell you how you'll familiarize yourself with this. So this is the movie that you are watching. That's the movie on the first thing on the page. Plays automatically when the page opens. Next to it, you see this thing that says tell a friend, and you're probably thinking, well, I'm not ready to tell a friend. I'm just like getting into this myself. Yeah. And then you're thinking, oh, well, Byard thinks I'm going to go, oh my God, this is so amazing. I've got to tell everybody I know. I'm going to send this email to everybody. Actually, no. What I think is that you need some friends like you see in the movie. Like this is what you've been watching. Is that these people are on Skype together on video. And this is what you need to be doing with your friends, because it's just easier to do this with people than trying to slug it through by yourself. And so here's a little link that if you click it, it opens your email, and see, it opens your email and it types it for you. And then you fill in the name of the friends, and it takes them to this page, does all that for you, and then you can talk to them on Skype or on the phone, and you can watch 10 minutes of the movie together. Or better yet, let me scroll down this page. If you notice, here's the 5-minute herpes cure. A lot of people come in here to cure herpes. Or people come in to cure flu, and there's the same woman up above it curing flu. And then people cure things that are a lot more serious, like here's Keely with her liver disease, curing that. She recovered from scarring and nodules, got a negative medical test. And you'll find that there's a lot of negative medical tests among these people for various kinds of extremely serious things. Now I want to be very explicit here. Your friends do not need a password, and you don't need a password to watch any of these movies that are down here. And the whole purpose of them is to enable you to familiarize yourself with this so that you know what you're getting into before you start. And so do they. But let's say you came in to cure herpes, so you and your friends watch the movie a little bit, you watch 5 minutes, and then you do it together. And they see things you don't. And you see things they don't. They may not even be able to get a signal where they're not interested, and they'll still tell you something that will help you. So you need people. That's what you've been seeing in this movie. You need a cure team. That's what you've been seeing here. Okay, people are always saying to me, oh my God, my friends aren't interested. I don't have any friends. People actually say to me, I don't have any friends. They say that. Okay, fine. We have friends for you, and that's the next thing on the list. So right under Tell a Friend is the prayer meeting. Live prayer meeting. It's every Monday night. There's your friends right there. You click on this. Oh, friend. There's a movie explaining about friends and the prayer meeting and so on. And right here, here's the instructions, how to get to the prayer meeting. See, it says directions. You have to click on that, though. See? So, and of course, there's all these movies. Here's a movie of somebody doing the prayers. At the beach, huh? This is my spot. And so she prays in her condo, which is on the beach. Keely loves the beach. And so so you should be at the prayer meeting every week. You want to cure this? Come to the prayer meeting. And of course, here's more people with finger signals, and there's just movies all over this web college. And this is a movie that actually shows you how to get on Skype and get yourself in the prayer meeting. In case you're not real familiar with that, there's some instruction here. Okay, and below it, it says Francis Horace Skype ID. That's the person who hooks up the prayer meeting. Now again, just to be super duper clear, you do not need a password or a membership to come to these meetings. We want you to familiarize yourself with this and get to know the people and become a part of it. And you can do that for as long as you need to, and invite as many of your friends to come with you as you need to, and have them there with you while you're there in the prayer meeting. You can have people in the room with you, and it's these are public things that we do everything in public. So just so you know. Alrighty, right under the prayer meeting link is the link to my Facebook page, and I'm sure you're probably wondering about that. Why would I think that you need to be my Facebook friend? And of course, the truth is I'm probably the only Facebook friend in this world that you need. Anyway, and just the reason that you do want to be my Facebook friend, you know, and the reason is that I send all the latest information through my Facebook page. You see, these movies here some of them are just the brand new, the thing we discovered yesterday. And that's what's here. And also, all these people are dialoguing here. And here they are. These guys, like you, these are people who you want to be friends with. The woman, here's the woman who's doing so well with her MS right here. Renee is there. You've got, this is the editor-in-chief of the Web College. Here's somebody who can discuss curing things with you in Arabic and get on Skype with you and do that. He's a wonderful, available person. And so are, of course, Ross and Darren, that you saw in the movie a few minutes ago. You were just watching these two people in the movie. Darren is doing very well with her cancer cure. And Ross is somebody who is always ready to help people. So these people, these are the kind of friends you want. And by the way, this is the announcement for the meeting that's tomorrow. See that flower? Well, when people click on these flowers, well, actually you can just click on this and it gives you all the info. See, this is for the Cure Team meeting, which you're welcome, by the way, to attend our Cure Team meeting. You do not have to have a password to the Web College to attend. Anyway, so you want to be my Facebook friend? Friend me right now. You know, just one other thing on that. You know, you need all the friends you can get with this, even if you've got a lot of good friends who are willing to help you with this. Now, down here, I just want to show you, it says, see, this says Immunic signal movies. Well, some people have trouble getting signals. In fact, most people don't start getting signals right away. Well, what I did is I made an entire page here of people, and I made all these movies of people getting various kinds of signals, some of them succeeding instantly, some of them not succeeding for a long time, but then finally getting a signal, and so on. They were just movie after movie of people with all kinds of different signal experiences. And we are back on the home page again. And here is the Newbies Immunics video and text tutorial, which this is a good way to familiarize yourself and start without, you do not need to join the web college to begin this. You do need to join the web college in order to complete it, but you can start doing this, and that's what I suggest you do to familiarize yourself. I think the way to familiarize yourself with it is to start doing it. And so, see, it says here, startup gets signals, and then it goes into it. There's another page helping you with signal failure, if you've had that, and so on, and it gives you some instructions on how to maybe get yourself going. But basically, the way to get yourself going with signals is just to do the things in these lessons. Here, see, here's this assignment it's giving you, and it gets you started on the assignment and gives you things to start doing, and so on. And you do not need a membership. You don't have to get your kit to start doing that. So this is a good thing here. See, it's right next to this movie, right there. Right next to the movie. Now, underneath the movie, this movie is a major lesson. It's a little over 3 hours. It's a movie with a big assignment in it. And this you need to be a member to start. This is where you actually start curing your disease. It's called your Immunix Blueprint. And next to it is where you get your kit. Right here. Now, if you notice in these links, there are actually a bunch of links into the web college. For example, this is the hub of the web college. And everything in the entire web college, thousands of pages, is connected to this hub. Now you're going to say, oh, I'll never use it. Well, you're right. As you heard before, most people use only a small fraction of it in the first year or two. And they often, by the way, most people cure the thing that they have to cure within a few weeks. And they keep doing it as they find more things that they want to cure and or improve about themselves. You notice here it says print out. The first thing that you do when you get your kit is to print these things out in this list. That's right here on the hub. It's the first place you go after you get your password. Okay? Now I want to show you what some of this looks like. You notice here's something called Use and Protection of Your Bodies. Skill 5. And if I click on it, see, I just click the lesson link, and what you get inside of it, of course you get a movie that plays automatically. It's somebody talking about use and protection of the bodies in the movie. I think it's very important for you to see people doing this. And that's why there are all these movies everywhere, all over everything. Because we've made probably 1,000 short movies at this point showing, illustrating these things. Like here's a lesson called friend tracking. What is friend tracking? Well, and also there's another one called general self-defense, and another one called anchor on the room, attack susceptibility. Let me just say this. A lot of people come in here believing that they're just going to get how I cure my herpes. They're going to have a very simple procedure and they're going to cure it. It's not going to be like that. What you're going to find is you get attacked and you have to know how to deal with it, or you won't cure your herpes, even if you know how. So attack susceptibility is actually simply it's a movie that tells you about, what the issue is and how to do it, and it's also just a series of things to test yourself on. And obviously none of this means very much to you right now, does it? But it will. At some point when you get going with this, what I just showed you is going to mean a lot. Okay, let me go back to the home page again and show you. See, these are main links. A list of lessons. A list of lists. You were just looking at a list. And there are reasons why you need lists. You need lists because when you're able to get signals, within seconds you can find things on a gigantic list. Look at how big this list is. And this is just the directory of the lists. Look at all the lists. Well, right up here at the top there's a list of immune dysfunctions. These are things that will get in the way of you applying what you know, because people say, well, just tell me how to cure it, and we will. And when we tell you how to cure it, these things will get in the way of you applying it. You see how many of them there are? Well, in 45 seconds, when you're getting signals, in 45 seconds, you will find what you need on that list. Now then there's the talks. These are audios. They're all MP3s, but there are different directories of them. And there are hundreds of them on every conceivable issue that can come up. You can also, there are movies in the talks interspersed. I just kept putting these movies everywhere. So this is what after you get started you're going to be getting into. And right now you're familiarizing yourself with this. And one way to do that is just to watch these movies. Okay, once you're ready to start, well, let's click right here on the flower to join the eye college. Tell me why you would want to donate your money to this, to the Cure Drive.
Because there could be some, well, it's to keep the website going, because I know you don't have a big budget.
You notice he's in Yemen. This guy is in East Yemen. We gave him a password without donating. He's talking about why people would want to donate their money to this. Well, they donate their money so he can have a free password, because people in East Yemen are not allowed to have bank accounts. So you and I'm assuming you're, in the first world and he's in the third world, and you and I are supposed to be paying for people like him. Also, I get a lot of people saying to me, well, I'm just penniless, I'm a college student or whatever. You can write in and ask for financial assistance and someone will evaluate whether you should have it. This is the basic kit. You see, the middle column is for people who actually originally got kits and their password expired. Your password is not forever. So then they re-enroll for, let's say, 3 months or 1 year at a time, and they make renewable passwords at that point. But the kit does not come with a renewable password. It just comes with a year or 3-month password. Okay, now hopefully I've just given you some perspective on the study options available to you that the people you're watching are employing to accomplish the things you're listening to them talk about. The next clip was shot a few days later. Darren has been working. Her medical numbers on cancer have improved, and she is curing it. She also shares about other things that are going on, and the clip is about a number of different issues. The reason I mention this about her medical numbers is that this is what you're supposed to be looking for. You're supposed to know to look for signals that you're curing things, because in the ebb and flow and the flotsam and jetsam and the sweep of all the experiences that you have while you're curing something, in the middle of that there has to be a pattern of cure that you watch. You will hear Darren talking about a whole bunch of other things, and the other people too. So you need to be watching for the pattern of cure in the signals of cure, such as the doctor's tests. It's a very good way to get signals that you're curing something. Go to a doctor and get tested. Since how long have you been using Immunix to cure the cancer this time?
I guess we started 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so about 3 weeks. That's right. Test this question: have I improved with the cancer in the last 3 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, and is that real for you? Do you actually feel that?
Yes, I do.
So you're feeling better, and your CAT scan seemed like it was encouraging.
Yeah, and my blood tests have been coming. My cancer markers have been coming down a little bit every time.
Okay.
Um,
Does anybody have anything they want to say to Darren about this?
I don't want to be redundant, but I think what I heard about many years ago before Munich is what you're may be experiencing is a healing crisis. Is that it's a good thing to have the pain because you're going through the end of it. So it's just something that came to me when you were talking about having pain and doing better at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Barb, you want to wait?
I need that paradigm because otherwise the pain's just like unbearable.
It is?
I do in some ways feel like I'm getting better, and the pain has gotten worse. So.
And you've refused the pain medication?
No, I'm cutting back.
Just cutting back on it?
I'm cutting back on hydroquinone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You what?
The things I was going to say, I'm not sure exactly which immunic routines you do, but whatever you were doing, I know that you were getting a result with it, so I would keep that up. And almost everybody I know that has been on hydrocodone for long gets complications with that somehow. You know that?
Oh, yeah, it's nasty.
It is.
I was on Oxycontin at some point before, and it was just hell getting off of it. So I'm certainly not.
I'm glad that you got off.
Yeah.
I'm impressed that you were even able to do that because most people, that means forget about it once they're on it. That's it. I won't say names, but you can pick that vibe up from people, and it's not surprising that you, whatever. You just have to watch it. That's really, it's difficult to deal with, I think. And then now you're doing this other thing with the.
A good question, Darren, for you to test is: do I feel powerful enough to dispense with the pain medication?
Yes, I do.
See, a lot of the pain thing is people just feel powerless, so they take the pills. And Darren feels powerful.
That's true. You sound powerful. Your voice every day sounds stronger and stronger.
It really, getting off the Oxycontin, I noticed that it was like this, demonic wave of emotion and physicality. It wasn't just pain, it was like emotional, physical pain.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as I saw that, I just had to get out of it, it was like possessing me. So this is much easier.
Thank you for all of us for dropping it.
Yeah, really.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
We all appreciate it.
You look better than a few weeks ago when we were on Skype. You look, to me. So,
I do?
Yes.
That's good.
Well, you look happier. I mean, you're doing a lot more laughing, and you're a lot you seem like you're having more fun.
Oh, well, my God. 2 weeks ago, I had been poisoned. I took chemo. I took a week of chemo, and it made me so sick.
And then you dropped the chemo, which we also thank you for. That was very good. That took guts and courage. I wanted to ask you, had you ever had a membership to the Web College before this membership that you just got?
I don't think I did. I didn't even know about it when I was working with you guys way back.
And how long ago? I mean, how long was it when we started this time till you joined the Web College?
I don't remember. A few days.
It was a few days. So you were familiar. You spent a few days familiarizing yourself with it. And I wanted to ask Ron that. How long did you know about Immunix before you joined the Web College?
Maybe, I don't know exactly. I'd say maybe a month or two.
Month or two. So you were familiarizing yourself with it for a month or two?
Yes.
And how did that go?
Well,
what was the familiarization process like for you?
Just the fact that it was available and I could learn a little bit at a time was encouraging. I had a lot of issues I've been going through that it helped me with. But as far as really accelerating. It didn't really happen until I started with the web college. And there's so much information there. Sometimes it's a little daunting. It's like, oh my God, there's all this to learn. But
well, how do you find what you need in the web college?
You know what? I just kind of trust, because there's so much there. I kind of go randomly unless I really have something specific I want to look up. If something comes to me, I say, yeah, I want to know that. I want to work on that. So other than that, everything seems to have some relevance. So that's why I'm not worried about, if I'm looking on a certain page, because I go from one page to the next page, something leads to the next. Wait a minute, I don't know that. I got to go to the page before that, or get the explanation for that. So to me, it's like, I was never a great student. I didn't like school at all, but this is a lot better.
So you do what you're interested in. And Matt Moody called me and asked me what kind of a study plan he should have. And I think I should get you and him together.
Yeah.
I think you could help Matt.
Yeah, there's so much there. You could just go on for years. Just I can't believe how much is there. But I found it just to be helpful every day, just to kind of bite a little bit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing of how to eat the elephant one bite at a time. There's just so much. So I'm just really grateful it's there and you guys are there. It's such a wonderful feeling to know that there's support, and I'm not here in the universe alone.
How do you find what you need in the web college?
Pretty similar to Ron. I kind of go in somewhere. A lot of times it's something you'll suggest, and it usually takes me a really long time to find things if I have to try and find something.
Right.
But if I just kind of meander, I usually can kind of navigate pretty deep and find my way back and keep the thread of it, because you can take detours all over the place.
Could I ask you something? This is a funny question, but have you ever had the experience of needing to cure something and you didn't know what it was or how to cure it, and you actually went into the web college and found something and did the instructions, and you actually came away cured?
Well,
or better, or like feeling better, let's say.
I think when I did the DNA recoding, I had to work hard on that one too. And because it led me, there was something about it where you start to clear the DNA or get it right the way needed. And you had to check, I think, your higher bodies for different things that might be in the way of clearing it. And those were really significant.
All the people that you see in these movies are ongoing members of the web college. And that's why we call each other colleagues, because we are colleagues in the college who are sharing, as you can see in these movies, we're sharing our combined knowledge and experience with each other and with everybody else in the world by making the movies. I believe I can speak for all of us when I say that we do these movies out of a conviction that we owe you, the new person, something, that we're paying something forward, that someone did this for us. Somehow somebody put some kind of result or notification or something out there where we could see it. Often it was somebody we didn't even know personally, but we stumbled on, somebody's statement about himself or herself, and this is how we cured what we have cured. So we feel a responsibility to you. The next clip shows a topic under discussion, and the topic is cure something that you do, or is cure something that you be? So you should think about that. Given what you've seen in this movie so far, would you say that cure is something that you do or something that you be? I should also mention that Darren's medical numbers have continued to improve to the point, and of course this is several weeks after the other clips were filmed, they've continued to improve to the point where she's believing that the cancer is just going, but other problems have emerged. One of them is paralysis, which her doctor tells her is probably a residual from the radiation that she did. So Darren is in a lot of pain and still facing a lot of challenges at the time this clip is made.
Am I happy? Yes.
Okay, now is cure something that you do or something that you be?
I be the cure. And for me, that's actually doing the best me that I can be. You know, being the best be. So it's actually like doing something. It's not just drop and say, oh, this is who I am, you know. It's an active beingness.
It's an active...
I agree.
Okay, what do you have to say about it, Barb?
Well, I was thinking yesterday about what you said about people being the center of their own universe, and I think that in a sense we each are, and that when I feel like when I'm curing things, I am being a certain way and doing things that are consistent to stay being that way. So it's kind of like once I get into the proper state of being, then I have to do the things, which could include thinking the things or not thinking things. It could be not obvious physical actions, but there is some doing involved, I think, for me. There's like I have to maintain a certain state, so that involves making good choices, choosing to be happy, recognizing, entropy or inertia.
You know what? May I interact with what you're saying? I find the same thing. It's like I have to be in a state of grace and touch people's hearts.
Yeah.
Or if I'm not in a state of grace, or if I'm rejecting somebody or something, then I'm going to be grabbing the thing back that I'm curing, because these people are reinfecting themselves psychically.
Yeah. I'm just starting that now, and that's why I wanted to say this to Saud. I mean, I've been doing this for, many, many years compared to you, and just recently, probably with, the effects of working with you and Darren too, I'm sort of seeing a new level of, I'm just getting to a new place of choice where I'm seeing, wow, this is a simple and not easy, but it takes effort, and it takes focus, and you have to do it every day, and I have to, just make it up every day. Like Greg was saying, you have to choose to be in a vibration and in a state that's going to, touch people's hearts, touch your own heart, create life, create energy, keep you happy. It doesn't have to be the thing that you think you need to be happy or to be well. Whether it's a being or a doing.
Is cure something that you be or do?
Be.
And how would you be your cure?
It will make me happy or something. I don't know.
What do you have to say about it, Darren?
I think that in the beginning of working with Immunic, there's a lot of doing. There has been for me, it's like learning to exercise or learning to dance. You have to do it. You have to do it in a way as you're learning the steps, and then it becomes a being. And then you're just you are the dance.
Can I say something?
Yes, Rhea, please say something. That's great.
When I started doing Immunics, I had a flu the 1st of January, the 1st of February, and the 1st of March. Bad. I live alone. I almost called an ambulance. I was delirious.
Wow.
For one day, it was bad. And after the 3rd month, I thought, something's trying to tell me something. So I had bumped into a Munich, just searching around, and that came to mind. So I came downstairs, got to the office, turned on the computer, and I lived a Munich for months.
Wow.
And I think that did it for every day, until I got it. Until I got it so I could be it.
You know, I think you got something there, because this is what everybody needs to do, is they just need to totally immerse themselves in it at the very beginning, and you can always back it off later. But you've got to, like, if you want to really cure something, you got to do this all day. Thank you so much. I think that's such an insight. And, you know, Darren, you've done that.
Yeah.
You know what you were saying before, I just want to come back to, because you were saying the cancer is getting cured, and now all the other problems are coming up.
Yeah.
Darren, I would also look at my spine and question what's hanging around, why it's hanging around, and what you can do to get rid of it. Not the cancer, but something else around what you're perceiving as cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I think that's really powerful.
We call them cofactors. You know, because your numbers on cancer are good, but your physical body is having tons of other problems. We call them cofactors. And the bottom line is you've got to do it all.
Yeah. And you know, so just to give you, I can see that Darren's laying down, but probably not walking around a lot and working, but you are, and I made index cards. And I carried them everywhere. I was standing in line, I pulled them out and I did them. If I was driving, I did them all the time, I did the shields, I did the God connectors, I did all the basic stuff, all the time. One right after the other, constantly, until it was in my head and I could just do it driving down the street. And what really got it into my head is, I have to share this with you guys, I was driving down the road on the highway, all of a sudden I heard, "You're really fat." And I thought, well, I'm a little overweight, but I'm not really fat. And I looked next to me and there was a very obese woman in the car. And, oh my God, we are picking up each other's thoughts. That we're all coming back and forth. So something's, just from doing it all the time, I got it. I got something.
Well, this makes very heavy usage of everybody's natural psychic abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that happens when people start doing this is they develop their psychic abilities. Like, Greg, what do you have to say about that? Because I know you've experienced that very strongly.
Yeah, I know what Rhea's talking about. Franny just walked in too. She's in the background.
I'm going down to the Senior Olympics.
Hey, Franny, come here. Stick your head over here, Bono. Come here. I wanted to say that you're so psychic you don't even realize when you're reading people's thoughts. Do you want to say anything about that?
Well, that's been a kind of a lifelong puzzle to me, because when things pop into my head, I often wonder if that's my thought or somebody else's thought.
Right. And you have to distinguish that.
Yeah, so I
You have to distinguish that.
If anybody has negative thoughts about me, I have to dismiss those immediately.
Well, if
Now,
you need to test, you need to test those
when I have those
things.
thoughts, I say, oh, that's it. I have all my attention on the other person. So anything that's coming to me, I just look and say, oh, that's where it's coming from. I mean,
Right.
I'm very clear about that.
That's right.
Anyway, they're going to start. I'm going to.
All right, well, I'm going to.
Senior Olympics downstairs.
Thank you all. Thank you all. This has been illuminating. Well, I'm on the Cure team. See that? There's my official shirt. Get yours today. Hey, check out my cap. What do you think about that, huh? See, can you read that? Let me just put it up here. See that? Now, when my neighbors see me bringing them some vegetables, which I buy by the case, so I give away some vegetables to my neighbors sometimes. I go all over the neighborhood. I know everybody around here. when they see me in this cap, they will know that they can cure things. Which they do anyway. They did before I wore the cap because, see, I have this on my car. See that? And that says right there, 87,000 cures. See it? See that? And see, they've been seeing these for years. These things, these bumper stickers, I have them on the front window, the sides, the back. They've been seeing them for years because, you know, this is the one, I'll show you this one. This is the one we started. See, it's 15,000. This is probably around 6 years old. That's when we probably did that one. No, maybe 5 years old. 15,000 cures. We started the cure drive, I think it was 2004 in June. And then we had this whole series of them. See, here's the one when we got up to 42,000. We made this one. And now we're up to 87. We're up higher than that, but this is the last one. This is the last time we published one. 87,000. There it is, baby cakes. So anyway, some of my neighbors are actually in the movies in this web college. This all started when I cured herpes. Long ago. 1993. People ask me, how'd you learn this? Who taught you? God taught me. You know, I was just doing this to feel good for months and months. You know? I never knew you could cure a physical disease, and then I got a really serious herpes outbreak. It was like a major herpes outbreak. And that's when I thought to ask. You know, I was doing some movement exercises, and I just thought to ask the question, can I cure this herpes? It's actually the question, you know, it was sort of like a little spirit whispered in my ear, you know. Did you ever have the feeling like that there was an angel pounding on your back? Hey, listen! You know, and you can't hear it, but there's like this, something's trying to talk to you and you're like too dense to get it, you know. Well, there was just this little thought that came in, you know, test if you can kill it. And I tested, can I kill it? And I got, see, this is what my signal looks like. And I got a yes. Actually, at the time, my signal looked more like this, see? See that? That's the way I was testing back then, but now it's just a little, now it's the tiniest little, you know, little thing. The people you just saw, you know, the ones that were curing things, they were also damaging themselves while they were curing that stuff simultaneously. People are complicated. You do both. Me too, you know. While I was curing my herpes, and I really did keep it out, and I kept finding it for years, or maybe more like 18 months, but I never got another physical outbreak because I kept it out, you know. But you see, you know, I was doing a million other things to wreck my life at the same time, you know, and that's what people do, you know. It takes time to realize you don't have to do that stuff. You actually do flow past it as you remove all these things. You become calmer and clearer. It's cumulative. You become more peaceful. Are you thinking that if only you knew how to cure things, you would cure everything? Is that what you're thinking? You know, it's a good thought, you know? That's a good thing to think about yourself. But you're probably, just like the rest of us, you're probably going to be making yourself sick for years after you start doing this. So keep thinking that you're going to cure everything. And really try to do that, okay? That's a good thing to think about yourself. But also cut yourself a break when you don't, okay? When you get your kit, the first book, there's 2 books that come in the kit. These are books. And the first book you should read is this one, The Secret Meets the Cure Drive. It is the Immuner's approach to manifesting, the immuner's approach to the secret. And just remember that the law of attraction does not stop working just because you're dysfunctional. You are always attracting. Well, you attracted this. You attracted the cure. You ever get that feeling that, you know, this is no accident that you found this? Well, for some people, they just know how to do the right web search. So let me grant you that. Maybe it was skill, you know, it may have been skill. But for a lot of people, they just say, hey, you know, when I saw this, I knew. That's what the whole journey of cure is like. It's controlling what you attract so that you attract all the right things and everything falls into place. Because curing things is a lot of work, and it's extremely complex, and it's deceptively simple looking. And as Darren was saying, it takes all her time. And depending on how serious, either how seriously you want to cure something or just how serious the disease is. Because the woman, you know, the movie Below This, you see the woman in the yellow blouse in the movie Below This? She had ankylosing spondylitis, and it didn't matter whether she wanted to apply herself or not. She didn't have a choice because she was in agonizing pain all day and couldn't sleep. So that was 24/7, and they didn't have a cure. The doctor had nothing. They had her on an antibiotic for a while, and they finally said, she had a cure. They finally said, we can't keep you on this. And when they took her off, the symptoms came back, and she was just dying. She had to cure Lyme disease to cure the ankylosing spondylitis. It's a matter of continuously remaking that choice to do it. You know, when you hit the glitch or fall on your face, or when your boyfriend attacks you or whatever. I mean, attacks you psychically, and I'm not talking of, don't read anything into that, okay? You know, when it attacks you psychically, or, you know, or whatever happens, you know, that makes you afraid or just compromises your immune system. You know, the things that compromise your immune system have to be eliminated, overcome. And all of this has to happen, and all of it will. Stick with it.
You know, everybody's on their own evolutionary path, you know, but I believe it's not just, it's the key for me. I think that there's really, you see, you're right on the mark with all of it that you're doing, by the way. There is an awakening going on.
Yeah.
And I never believed in that stuff, but now I sense it. Yep. I feel it.
Yep.
It's not massive, but there are key people that for whatever are being called upon to do this type of work, and that are waking up themselves, and in the process through their own vibration or work are waking up other people.
Yes.
That there's another way.
That's right. That's absolutely.
And that's where the power in all of this lies.
Yeah, I see it all around me.
Yeah.
I see it all around me.
Yeah. So kudos for you.
Well, I want you to test something else. Hold up your hand. And hold up your hand and test, have any of my answers come from God?
Have any of my answers come from God? For any of them come from God? Have any of my answers come from God? Yeah, I mean, there's I feel it big. There's the whole temperature in my hand, all my fingers changed.
Okay. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother.
Well, now, I don't think I've said my name. I'm Bayard Barnes. I founded that little cure team that you were just watching. I'm also one of the founders of the Cure Drive. I'm the discoverer of Immunix. I'm the founder of the Cure Show, or one of the founders. Greg Morkoven is actually the founder of the Cure Show, but I'm one of them, and I want to invite you to meet with us. You know what you saw us doing with Darren, the woman who had cancer, and she was curing her cancer, and she cured it. We don't charge for this service, meeting with us. Now you must be laughing at me. How could we possibly meet with like billions of people from the web? Well, I'll tell you how we do it. I have 2 movies. There's 2 versions of this movie. There's the version with this invitation and then the other one that doesn't have the invitation. So when we get a whole bunch of people lined up, I just switch to the other version on the homepage, which is the only place this movie can be seen. This movie, the one with this invitation, it's hidden. It's a YouTube setting. So the only way anybody can ever see it is if they know where the link is, which means actually you could send this to a friend 2 months from now when I, am not keeping it on the homepage if you want. That's okay though, because it doesn't matter, because see, we meet with people all the time, like not just when the invitation is up. It's just that I take the invitation down if we seem to be getting a few extra ones. Now you notice that number that's going across the screen? That's my personal phone number. So you can call that. That's how you get, that's how you get set up with us. There's a very long outgoing message which says the same things I'm telling you here, and you don't need to hear it. So you can press the star key to turn it off and then just talk, okay? Because, see, I have my phone number in a lot of places. And, those people didn't hear this, and they need to hear this stuff. So they need to have that message, but you don't need it. So press the star key when you call. You should also be my Facebook friend when you call me. I'm Bayard Henry Barnes, and that way I can see what you look like and who you are and what you are like, so I'll know who I'm talking to when I call you, okay? Now look, you don't have to get all nervous about this. You're not applying to Harvard. We just want to know that you actually need our help and that you're capable of accepting our help when we meet with you. And also that way, if you're my Facebook friend and if you live, someplace where it's going to cost you $18 for the first minute of telephone time, then you can just message me on Facebook and include all your phone numbers and specify whether they're land or cell, and also include your Skype information. Because especially if you're in one of those faraway places, you gotta have a Skype account. Now, you're gonna see a dialogue among a whole bunch of people curing things on my Facebook wall. And there's a whole bunch of people there talking about what they've cured, and you should friend them too and get into the dialogue with these people. People are curing things. You want to be part of that, right? So you want to be like, you want to know, those are the people you want to know because they're succeeding. Now, I am assuming that since you have watched as much of this movie as you have, that you now know what Immunix is, okay? You have been introduced. This was your introductory, such as it was, It's not possible to actually do an introductory experience of Immunix. Immunix, like Texas, is a big place. Immunix, like the universe, is a big place. And so, but maybe you've even started doing Immunix now that you've seen people doing it, which means we definitely want to meet with you. So just, leave me a short message on my phone, or if I answer, just tell me, what you need to cure and what you've already done for yourself. Sort of, have your thoughts together when you call, in case I answer, And also, the cure team is getting bigger. Other people are getting groups together and even filming them the way I film my groups. So if you leave your number and you get a call from somebody who isn't me, that's why I may toss your number to somebody else, you know, if I got too much on my plate. You will need to have a membership in the Cure College. Not to call me. I take calls from everybody. You need a password for the coaching, you know, for the meeting with the group, because the coaching won't help you if you don't have a password, and plus they're going to be telling you to go places in the web college during the meeting anyway. So you're going to have to be able to get into the web college. And also, you know, when you're in there, you'll find that, you know, the coaching is just getting you started with what you're going to do that's in the web college. We just kick you off, so to speak. So if you're not ready to join the web college right now, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just write the number down now, though, because, you know, we meet with people all the time, not just when this invitation is here. So you can call in 2 months if you want. It's not a problem. I meet with people every day, or I'd be really bored if I didn't do that. So save the number. It's fine to wait till you're ready to call. Okay, hey, you know, maybe it's better to be, you know, ready. Ready is good. I like ready. I like ready people. Then we accomplish more if you're, you know, ready. And though if you feel ready and you've been thinking like you're just going to, you know, sign up the minute this movie is over, okay, well, make the call the minute this movie is over and get together with us then. Okay, because we want to talk to you. And know that whether you contact me or not, or, you know, whether you want to meet with a group or not, if you have started curing things, whether you contact me or not, you are one of us. You don't have to contact me to be one of us. And I know that I speak for all the people who are in that curing dialogue on Facebook when I say, and in the curing dialogue of Immunix, when I say, we would love to have you join us as our Facebook friend, as our personal friend, whatever. And I would love for you to join in the dialogue that's happening on Facebook about cure. Or even just listen to the dialogue. Just be with the dialogue that's happening there. You know, do anything. Take any small step forward. When you need to cure something, that's how you cure it. You start. Just start right now. Do something now, however small, that little small step that moves you towards curing it. And when you do take that small step, then consider yourself one of us. You've started, whatever it is. Because if you see this and understand it, whether you get in touch with us right now or not, you are one of us. If you understand what Immunix is, you're one of us. Because we're just a bunch of everyday, anyway, Joe Schmoes who cure things. We're ordinary people who work miracles. We surround ourselves with miracles all day, and we live in the miraculous, where cancer disappears. We do things that no one else on this earth does, and we do them all day. And it's absolutely and completely and totally normal to us. That's our version of normal. You know? We think that's normal to do that, to cure things. And we think people who don't live in the miraculous and have miracles are abnormal and really strange. And you consider yourself one of us. You're welcome.